What's going on, man?
Everything's good.
Hi. Drop the hammer.
Nope.
Hey.
What is going on right
I'm
now?
not getting an answer on call back.
What the hell was David DePape, the man who attacked Paul Pelosi with a hammer, what was he doing with a bunch of unicorn costumes? Why did he have inflatable unicorn costumes with him when he was at caught at the Pelosi house? This is a crazy story that's getting more nuts. Okay, so Pelosi unicorn controversy cover up. The man accused of attacking Nancy Pelosi's husband was caught up in conspiracy theories, according to his defense, but also when he broke into the Pelosi's house, he had with him two blow-up unicorn. I keep saying uniform. Unicorn uniforms. Unicorn costumes. I don't know. What's the story here? Well, I don't know. I guess it's my job to just simply report the news to you. You can decide. But here is a list, according to the San Francisco acting police attorney who is testifying in this case. She testified that this man was found inside the Pelosi residence with zip ties, a sledgehammer, gloves, duct tape, cash, Canadian passport, Canadian birth certificate. Reminder, he was an illegal immigrant. I'm sorry, can I repeat that? He's an illegal immigrant who's been allowed to stay here due to California's sanctuary city policies. Nancy Pelosi passed these policies. Clothes, video game console, and two inflatable multicolor unicorn costumes. What? Why did you have two inflatable multicolor unicorn costumes? I'm reading to you directly from the court documents here. Huh? Don't make any sense. Did they look like this? We don't know. This is an artist's rendering of what the unicorn costumes may be. We don't know. We're not sure. We don't know. It's our job to report to you accurately. This is, of course, absolutely real, directly from the court documents. So David DePape, when he did, he did something terrible. He hit Paul Pelosi. He hit Paul Pelosi with a hammer. Now, there's a lot of questions about this. Like, for instance, in the body cam footage that I'm about to show you, like, why doesn't Paul Pelosi declare an emergency? Why is he fighting with David DePape? Why are they like holding a hammer together? I still, to the life of me, I cannot figure out what is going on here. They're not wearing, at this moment, unicorn costumes yet. But here, ladies and gentlemen, Paul Pelosi in his underwear, holding a hammer with David DePape, and doesn't declare an emergency when the door is opened. Who opens the door? No one knows. And it's still one of the most curious things, the strangest videos I've ever seen in my life. Watch.
Fucking said 2620, right? No, 2640. Oh, 40. Yeah, it literally said in there. Hi. How you doing?
How are you?
What's going on, man?
Everything's good.
Hi. Drop the hammer.
Nope.
Hey.
What is going on right
I'm
now?
not getting an answer on call back.
Okay, I mean, listen, as we always say on the show, like, we want everyone to live safe. I don't care if you live in Gaza or Ukraine or if you're Paul Pelosi. I don't care who you are or if you're Barack Obama's chef. I want you to live a safe, happy life. There's never, no matter who you are, any reason for violence. Of course, unless you were found guilty of some heinous crime. Well, then I'm actually, quite frankly, in favor of the death penalty. But again, like, there's never any reason for, okay, so we're not trying to, like, make light of that. We're simply trying to ask questions. Much like with the Barack Obama chef, we're just doing our best to, like, try and figure out these strange occurrences. What's going on? Well, the defense is saying that this man was caught up in conspiracy theories. Right-wing conspiracy theories. But that didn't make any sense because his family says that he's a left-winger that supports Pelosi and Democrats. His family's on the record. This man's son is on the record saying that he's just a sweetheart environmentalist left-winger who has promoted progressive causes his entire life. So I don't know, man. There's a lot of weird stuff. There's a lot of weird stuff in this story. Like, for instance, when a reporter named Miguel Aguilar, a local NBC News reporter, reported out this story accurately, he described what happened that night. Here.
Good morning. When officers arrived here at the Pelosi home exactly a week ago today, they initially didn't have any idea exactly what was going on. They knew they had a high priority call on their hand. What was unclear, what was happening inside the property just behind me.
This morning, Paul Pelosi is home, back at the house that became a crime scene a week ago today. NBC News learning new details about the moments police arrived. Sources familiar with what unfolded in the Pelosi residence now revealing when officers responded to the high-priority call, they were seemingly unaware they'd been called to the home of the Speaker of the House. After a knock and announce, the front door was opened by Mr. Pelosi. The 82-year-old did not immediately declare an emergency or try to leave his home, but instead began walking several feet back into the foyer toward the assailant and away from police. It's unclear if the 82-year-old was already injured or what his mental state was, say sources. According to court documents, when the officer asked what was going on, defendant smiled and said everything's good. But instantaneously, a struggle ensued as police clearly saw David DePape strike Paul Pelosi in the head with a hammer. After tackling the suspect, officers rushed to Mr. Pelosi, who was lying in a pool of blood.
And a pool of blood. So, okay, 100% accurate report. 100% accurate report. He didn't declare an emergency. He was struggling with a hammer, holding like the same hammer as the guy. And there were we know, like, we can see it. He's in his underwear, and they were like, we know that Paul Pelosi had just drove and smashed, nearly killed a guy in Napa Valley. Like, so lit. And Paul Pelosi, we have that dash cam video. You can see Paul Pelosi stumbling around, he barely walk. So was Paul Pelosi hitting the sauce? Adult sodas? I don't know, man. Clearly he's got a problem. We're not cheering for anything bad to happen to him. We don't want anything bad to happen to him. We're just saying it doesn't add up. And what also doesn't add up is that reporter was effectively deep sixed. So after going up with that reporter was like, I mean, ALX, what was the status of that guy? That guy was like, so he was like, he was either fired or totally relocated. Like the Pelosi's went. So for reporting this accurately, what absolutely happened step by step, that reporter was like, cast to the wolves. The Pelosi's like went hard at him and like ruined his career for describing what actually happened. Anyway, it doesn't make any sense. The neighbors of this guy, remember, this guy lived in a van. He lived in a van. David DePape lived in a van. And his neighbors are like, yeah, he's like a left-winger. He has BLM signs up in his van. The guy has a BLM sign. He's a progressive. He's a liberal. They're trying to blame this on Donald Trump right now. Look at the evidence.
So they are just, nudist drug abusers, and that's who gravitates toward them.
And the children who live there seem to be underage or under 18.
I'm not sure how old they are.
Okay.
And Trisha, again, what do you say their politics are?
I'm not sure. I would imagine that they're more left-leaning because of their support for the gay community and for, for other people. But it is... now I'm not sure what way they lean because
they have the flag, the LGBT flag with the hat.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. They have LGBT flag up. They have BLM signs. They're drug abusers. They're nudists. They're progressives. The guy's own son says that he's a lifelong progressive Democrat. They're going to try. They're trying right now in court to blame this on Donald Trump. They're trying to say that he was a big time Trump supporter. Okay, let's go ahead and read the article here. David DePape, the attacker, is a Canadian citizen. He is an illegal immigrant in the United States. He's been here 20 years. He lived in Berkeley in a trailer. Pro-nudity activist. Pro-nudity activist. Well known in the Bay Area. He struggled with mental illness. And he struggled with drugs. And he's been homeless. How is he allowed to stay in this country? Nancy Pelosi open border policies and sanctuary city policies, actually. But according to his own children, this man was a lifelong progressive Democrat. So before you get it twisted, and before you read what they're going to try and do in this, trial, they're going to try and like blame it on Donald Trump, the easiest catch-all for all of these people. They're going to try and blame all of it. Epstein, David DePape, doesn't matter. All of their sins, they're just going to cast them upon Trump. Weird thing happened in Congress where Nancy Pelosi, which is so strange, Nancy Pelosi demanded that the recorder in Congress, the lady up the front of Congress, go read a statement. And went like this last week. It's a statement from Nancy Pelosi where she's like, I am going to comply with a criminal trial. And I just want everyone to know that I am being subpoenaed in a criminal trial. This is a very strange thing to have the House recorder read. Nancy Pelosi forced this upon her. Something's really weird here. But Nancy Pelosi was subpoenaed in this trial, the attack on her husband. Why? Also, you don't subpoena the willing. Subpoena is the court ordering Nancy Pelosi to give testimony and to give documents to them about this. Why? What about it? Why didn't they catch David DePape? Like, this is what I'm wondering. Why didn't they catch him? We went to Nancy Pelosi's house, of course, not to harass her or to do any harm. Of course, it's a place, it's a public place. We were recording about San Francisco. We were there the week before. We actually got robbed in front of Nancy Pelosi's house. Am I wrong, Rolls Royce? We got robbed. Our car got broken into in front of Nancy Pelosi's house, and the Secret Service that were there to protect Pelosi watched it all happen. The Secret Service guards made sure that we stayed about a block away from Nancy Pelosi's house, right? Okay. So she has like protection. I saw it myself. How did this guy smash a hammer? How is this guy able to break in? Maybe that's what they're trying to figure out. What was going on with security at her place? Check this out from Nancy Pelosi on the House floor.
Notify you formally, pursuant to Rule 8 of the Rules of the House of Representatives, that I, the Honorable Nancy Pelosi, Speaker Emerita and U.S. Representative for the 11th Congressional District of California, have been served with third-party subpoenas from the prosecution and the defendant to produce documents in a criminal case in the United States District Court for the Northern District of California. After consultation with the Office of General Counsel, I have determined that compliance with the subpoenas is consistent with the privileges and rights of the House to the extent.
So, again, strange thing to have. You don't normally do that. I have been subpoenaed in a criminal case. Now I have to now comply with the subpoena. That's Pelosi ordering them to read that from the House floor. It's weird. The whole thing is weird, and we're not going to apologize for covering it. We're not going to apologize for asking questions. Now the guy's public defender is saying that it's because of Donald Trump. That's the case that's being made. It's because of Donald Trump. It's worth stating the truth. The truth shall set you free. Okay?